back again. No stream. Arc again. And this one is going to be, I'm going to do like tricks of the Cryopod, a few tips, but mainly tricks of how to use, what to do, all that kind of stuff with a Cryopod. If you don't know what a Cryopod is, it's one of these little things. It's Arc's version of a Pokeball, basically. And I'm going to leave the best till last, so we'll start with, I guess, the basics of the use of it is any dino, Wyvern, Gigas, Bronto, any dino you can think of, you can put in a Cryopod. It freezes. It basically freezes them in the Cryopod. Like so. You just go up to it, pop into a Cryopod, and it's frozen. It'll stay in there. And that's that. To get it out, you just throw it, and it's really that simple, guys. You just throw it out. But as soon as you throw it out, as you can see at the bottom right of my screen, you get a timer, which means you cannot pop out another dino with that timer. So if I put my Giga back in, okay, man. Like so, you still have the timer, doesn't matter what. For whatever reason they take a dump every time they go in the Cryopod, don't know why. But as soon as you pop it out, look, because I have that timer, it comes out with a thing called cryo sickness. It's not a bad thing, it basically means the dino will come out unconscious. Every dino will come out unconscious. They're also all completely different. Luckily Gigas have a fast torp timer, so this will go down, it will wake up pretty quick. If I do this with a Bronto, who have a very slow torp timer, it'll be knocked out for quite a long time. You can give it stim bearings which will make it faster, but it will be knocked out for quite some time. So if you have that timer in the bottom right, basically just don't pop out any dinos out of a Cryopod. Any Cryopod, do not pop them out, otherwise they'll come out unconscious. They do wake up eventually, as you can see, it goes down, but this is quite fast because it's a Giga, and like I said, their torpor time is quite quick. But that's the basics, so I'll leave them. That's pretty much the basics, guys, of a Cryopod. That's pretty much how you use them. Every Cryopod, you can make them, you can get them out of drops and stuff, but every Cryopod lasts 30 days. So, after 30 days, the Cryopod will stop working. It pretty much stops working. As you can see, I have my Cryopod in that slot there. You can see it popping up. It says 29, 23 hours, 29 days, 23 hours. It will stop working after that timer. Now you can, luckily, with a cryo fridge, see where it fits there. You can recharge it. So if you put the Cryopod, if it goes to 0 or 5 days left, 10 days left, or it dies completely, you put it in there and it will recharge. Now if you have a dino in your Cryopod, when it gets to 0, the dino will die inside the Cryopod. You can still use the Cryopod, you can still put the Cryopod back in the cryo fridge to recharge it, but the dino will die and just basically disappear or vanish. The dino will be gone. So you will want to leave them in a cryo fridge basically. They stay charged, they stay whatever all the time, non-stop. They do not lose charge, nothing. But as soon as you take it out of a cryo fridge, you have 30 days until it runs out. And like I said, just if it hits 0 or before it hits 0, get the dino out or put it into a cryo fridge, because you will lose that dino, it will die. You can put them in normal fridges like these, and it goes up to pretty much 60 days, which is good. But as soon as you take it out of this fridge, it will go back down to 30 days. So it adds 30 days if you put it into a normal fridge. So if you have 20 days left, it'll go up to 50 days, which is, I guess, helpful. But those days reduce, so if you have it on 50 days and take it out with I don't know, 40 days left, you'll only have 10 days left on it when you take it out of the fridge. So essentially you need one of these. They're not that expensive to make, cryo fridges. They recharge the cryopods and they basically keep the dinos that you keep in the cryopod alive. They are needed really, guys, to be honest. Otherwise you will lose your dinos, which you don't want to do. It's a bit of a silly mistake. I mean, but yeah, anyway, the cryopods are very, very helpful for raids, for example, and taming. So if you, other side of the map, you tame something, let's say Giga, because they're not standing in front of me, you tame a Giga on the other side of the map, you put it into this cryopod, and you can fly home with it, instead of walking it all the way across the map, which is a bit annoying. And a bit of time. So you pop into that, you come home, and you can either leave it in and put it into cryo fridge, or pop it out, and then obviously you get the timer and all. And yeah, we're going around in circles with that part. And with raiding as well, you can take them raiding. So instead of, I don't know, you run out of dino, your Bronto dies, you lose a Bronto, you need a backup Bronto, keep it in a cryo pod. You have a backup dino. That's the main use for these, but to me the best part of cryopods, it's not exactly the best part, the most tricky and handy part of them is when it comes to breeding. It's very, very helpful. Like now, this, I am breeding a Power Racer here, as you can see. If I put it into this cryopod now, it will stop. It will freeze, it will stop growing, the care timer will stop, everything will just stop. You do not lose anything on it, but everything just freezes everything. That is that, basically. Which is very helpful for if you go raiding and you don't want to worry, you come back and rush back to give care or feed the dino you're bringing up or breeding or whatever. Raising, sorry. It's helpful, and it also saves waking up at like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Like when you're doing wyverns, you need care every 4 hours. They take what, 4 or 5 days on official, so you have to wake up in the morning. But with these you won't have to. If you go to bed at 10 p.m, put it in a cryopod, put it in your cryo fridge, wake up next day or get home from work, pop it out, and it will carry on from exactly where you froze it. The maturation will stay the same, the care timer will stay the same, everything will stay the same. So you don't have, like I said, you don't have to worry about it. If you're worried about it, put it in the cryopod and it will stop. And then you can start raising it whenever you got the time or whenever you can be bothered, basically. Another thing with these, I can't really show you the stopping thing, because if I put this in then I can't get it back out straight away. I'm not raising anything else at the minute. But the other thing with these, which I think is brilliant, and the care would be helpful if the care went down a bit faster, so I could show you that. But another thing with these is when they want care, you can, I don't know if this is a glitch, I don't know how long this will stay around, but make the most of it, guys. If you do want to use it, make the most of it. I don't know if it will stay around, I don't know if they'll change it, update it or what, but if you put a dino that you are raising into a cryopod and it wants a cuddle, it wants a certain kibble, it wants a walk, you know, all that stuff, if you put it into a cryopod and then pop it back out again, it will change that. You don't get a choice, it's random. But if it wants, say, I don't know, Sarco kibble, I've got Sarcos there, that's what I thought of it, Sarco kibble, and you haven't got that kibble, put it in a cryopod, pop it out, and it'll come out wanting something else, a cuddle, a walk, or whatever, or different kibble. If you haven't got that kibble, you can do the same again, but then you will have the timer, which is a problem. But, I mean, we have 6 minutes till care. I guess you can wait around. I could show you that in a minute. I just think of other things for the cryopod. which, I mean, there isn't much else other than the, don't leave it in, it'll die. If you don't have a cryo fridge and you leave a dino in it. Reaches the end of 30 days, you lose your dino. Bit of a silly mistake. You get the timer down the bottom. Best not to pop out a dino, otherwise it will come out unconscious. I mean, like my Giga here, look, it's woke up already, so it didn't really matter because it's Giga. It's supposed to just give you that food. Oops. But as I was saying, like, if you do a Bronto or something, it'll take a long time to wake up, or Rexes. I mean, Rex's torpor times are a bit slow as well. So give you that food, get rid of that. I don't want all that meat, do I? I think, well, that's pretty much it, other than the little thing I want to show you. But my Power Racer is taking its time. 5 minutes. But yeah. Other than that, there isn't much else or any uses for a Cryopod. Don't need that one. Very handy, very useful. Make things simple, like I say, with tames, makes things easier. With a raid, you need a backup dino. You can put it in a Cryopod. When you're breeding, you haven't got the time to breed or raise the dino you popped out, or you've got to go to work, or you've got to go to sleep. Put it in a Cryopod, put it in the cryo fridge, and it'll stay exactly how it was until you pop it out of the Cryopod, and you just carry on from where you left off, where you froze it. Like I said, nothing changes. And I think the best, it's not the best, well yeah, I guess it is the best, it's the little trick, the best little trick that you can get is, if whatever this wants for care, you can change it if you put it in a Cryopod. It's so helpful, especially with kibble things, like little things like Dimitron kibble. Like rare kibble, really, isn't it? I mean, it's a lot different now. Now the kibble has changed, so you can get the extraordinary, exceptional kibble and things. It's kind of different, so you don't need all the dinos for it. But it's still helpful. If you need a certain kibble and you don't have it, you put the dino you are raising into a Cryopod. You pop it straight back out, and it will want something completely different to what it did when you put it in. So, and I'll say it again, if it wants Sarco kibble, and I haven't got any, I would put it in the Cryopod, I would freeze this, I would put it in, I can't do it now, the timer 3 minutes, can't be asked to wait 3 minutes. I would put it in, oh yeah, food. Say it wanted Sarco kibble, I didn't have it, I'd put it in, I'd pop it straight back out, and it'd want something different, like a cuddle, or a walk, or I don't know, Bronto kibble, Rex kibble. Not like they do that anymore, but the point's still there. So it'd want berries or a certain egg, whatever. It changes. If you, I don't know if that's a glitch or what, to be honest. But make the most of that trick, because it might not stay around. I can't say. Obviously, I don't know. But that little trick you want to make the most of, and that is with a Cryopod, that is the best trick to have with the Cryopod. So you really want to make the most of that one. It changes what it wants as the care if you put it in a Cryopod and pop it back out again. I mean, you can wait 2 days if you want. It would pop out and it would still change what it wants for the care. It's so handy, it really is. So yeah, if you haven't got the eggs, put it in a Cryopod. If you haven't got the room to walk, bit of a silly one, put it in a Cryopod, hopefully it'll come out and want to kibble. If you haven't got berries, if you haven't got the whatever it needs, if you haven't got whatever it needs, put it in a Cryopod. pop it back out of the cryopod and it will want something completely different. Hopefully it'll want something you can give it or something you have. I mean, it's got a minute 40. I can show you guys if you're wanting to wait. I suppose while we wait that minute, if you think this video is helpful, if you any of the tricks were helpful, please, I'd appreciate a like. If you just love listening to me, please leave a like. Hey, you never know, you might do. Whatever it is, people, please, I'd appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, of course. And I think my next video or next stream will be a longer one because I don't want to give too much away, but the next one is going to be a base expansion. More building, more... I'm not going to tell you what we're building, but it's going to be a base expansion. So stay tuned for that one. We have got 50 seconds. Can I ramble for 50 seconds? Ooh, good question. I can, but I'm not going to. Or am I? Rambling 50 seconds. But yeah, that'll be the next stream, base expansion. And I think I mentioned it in a few of the videos, me and Rick are planning to do a mass breed session. So whenever we're both on at the same time, whenever we've both got time, it's going to be a massive breeding session. We're going to put down a lot of eggs, and they're going to pop out. Got 10 seconds, typical. Now I've got the time in the bottom right. Oh god, I can put it in but I just can't pop it out. Anyway, what will you want? See, a Marberry. I mean, I've got them. That's an easy one to give, but I will show you, people, anyway. So as you can see, it wants that as care. I'm sure most of you know you put it in the last slot, your last quick slot, and you just, yeah, you basically feed it. I'm sure most of you know that. But if you haven't got that, which isn't a hard thing to get, but I'm showing you anyway, if you haven't got that, put it in the cryopod, wait for the annoying timer at the bottom, which you can understand why they have it, otherwise people will be popping out gigas here, there and everywhere, and it'd be crazy. But you just wait for the timer in the bottom right. As soon as that goes down, pop out your Bronto. Not your Bronto, your Power Racer. I have Bronto on the mind because I love my Brontos. And it will change what it wants when the timer runs out, which is taking too long. Pick them up anyway. No, as soon as that runs down, I'll pop it out. As soon as it goes down, it'll pop it out. Okay, man. Right. Remember I wanted a Marberries. Or a Marberry. Just the one, apparently. So, popped it out. And what's it want for care this time? And just a cuddle, you see? And there's the care. If any of you thinking, oh, 50%, yeah, this is 50 times server, so that's why. But anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, there you go. I think I've said it a few times, and now I've just shown it. That's, if you haven't got what it wants, put it in a cryopod, pop it back out, it will want something else. And that's that. I think that's everything. Cryo fridge, basically how you use the cryopod. What happens if you leave your dino in the cryopod when it runs out of charge? It will die. They don't another thing, actually, the last thing I guess, is they don't take too long to charge. I think I just put one in it, and it had 23 days and 23 hours, whatever, and it says charge ready. I think it takes, from zero, I think it takes 10-15 minutes to charge, that's about it. So if you do have a cryopod that dies, it will not take very long to charge. But that's it. Cryopods are very handy, very useful, much and a lot better if you have a cryo fridge. and very good if you're breeding and raising dinos. And that's that, guys, really. As I said, if you like it, if this helped, if this helped give you any tips or whatever, please leave a like, or just give a like in general. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, and again, I'd appreciate that too. Thank you for watching, hope this helped, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.